You know, it's kind of crazy how much time developers waste setting up the same basic monitoring for every single new service they create. It's this endless, repetitive cycle. Well, today, we're going to talk about a much better way, how you can bake observability right into your AWS platform, creating what's called a golden path that makes the whole process automatic, consistent, and frankly, instant.
All right, so here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by talking about the problem, what we're calling the observability maze. Then we'll introduce the solution, the golden path, and break down what actually goes into it. We'll see a quick example of a service being created, talk about the massive payoff for your developers, and then we'll wrap up with a little checklist you can use to get started.
So first things first, let's really set the stage and talk about this observability maze. I have a feeling this is a challenge that's going to feel very familiar to a lot of you.
I mean, does this sound familiar? A developer spins up a brand new microservice and boom, they are right back at square one. They're trying to figure out logging formats, building dashboards from absolute scratch, and setting up the same basic alerts they've already configured a dozen times before. It's not just repetitive, it's super frustrating, and honestly, it's a huge waste of time that could be spent building the stuff that actually matters.
So how in the world do we break out of this cycle? Well, the answer isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter. We need to build a paved road for our developers, and that solution is called the golden path. So what is the golden path, really? Just think of it like an easy button for creating a new service. It's this pre-made template, usually from a platform team, that has all the best practices for things like security, deployment, and, most importantly for our chat today, observability, already baked right in from the start. And the difference here is just night and day. Look at the left side, the old way. It's all manual, it's inconsistent across teams, it's slow, and it puts this huge burden on every single developer. But with the golden path, observability becomes a feature of the platform itself. It's automated, it's standardized, and it's instant. The developer barely even has to think about it.
Okay, to build this amazing golden path, you need the right recipe. And that recipe starts with standardizing the three fundamental pillars of observability. And here they are, the famous three pillars. You've got logs, which tell you what happened during a specific event. You've got metrics, which tell you how is this thing performing over time. And then you have traces, which show you the entire journey of a request as it hops between your services, answering the question, where did it go? A solid golden path has a standard for all three.
Let's start with logs. The platform's job is to make sure every single service automatically sends structured, JSON-formatted logs to one central place, like Amazon CloudWatch. And that structured part is so critical because it means the logs are machine-readable. You can search them, you can build alerts on them, there are no more guessing games, it's just there and it just works.
Next up, metrics. By standardizing on a framework like OpenTelemetry, the platform makes sure every service is emitting the same important metrics. We're talking request latency, error rate, CPU usage, all in the same format. This is a huge deal because it means you can build consistent dashboards that work across your entire system, no matter what tools you end up using.
And finally, traces. By automatically plugging in a tool like AWS X-Ray, the platform gives developers end-to-end visibility right out of the box. So when a customer calls with a problem, you can immediately follow that request from service to service to service and find exactly where the slowdown or the error happened. This literally turns hours of painful debugging into just a few minutes.
Okay, so the theory is great and all, but what does this actually look like for a developer on a Tuesday morning? Let's just walk through a quick example.
So, a developer grabs a service template to get started. As their new code moves through the CI/CD pipeline, the automated system that builds and tests everything, the platform sneakily injects the necessary agents to collect all this data. Then, the service gets deployed to AWS, and the very second it goes live, it's already fully monitored. Default dashboards light up, and the critical alerts are already armed and active. It's basically magic.
And this is the bottom line, the crucial point. When you build observability into the platform, you completely eliminate all of that low-value, repetitive work forever. Your senior engineers are no longer wasting their first week on a new project just setting up monitoring boilerplate. They're actually focused on high-impact work that moves the business forward.
Now, this isn't just some small technical tweak. This is a fundamental upgrade to the developer experience. So let's really dig into the payoff here.
And this chart really says it all. I mean, just look at that first bar. That's hours, sometimes days of a developer's time just wasted on manual setup for every single new service. But then look at the bar on the right. With a golden path, that time just plummets. It goes down to pretty much zero.
So the benefits here are just massive. Your teams get higher velocity, which means you get products to market faster. Your whole system becomes more consistent, which makes it way easier to manage when things go wrong. You reduce the cognitive load on your developers, letting them focus on what you hired them for, solving business problems. And ultimately, you build more resilient systems because every service has that baseline monitoring from day one.
Okay, so what if you're sold on this idea? How do you actually start building this into your own platform? Well, here's a simple checklist to help you get going.
Right, here are the non-negotiables. First, pick a structured logging format like JSON and enforce it. Second, automatically spin up a default dashboard for every new service that shows its vital signs. Third, have default alerts for the really bad stuff, like a spike in server errors, ready to go from the very beginning. And finally, make sure distributed tracing is turned on for any and all communication between your services.
You know, this whole approach really transforms observability from this painful chore into a powerful, built-in feature of your platform. It empowers your developers, and it makes your system stronger. So the question I want to leave you with is this. What's the first, most impactful ingredient you can bake into your own golden path?